headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. The phone number is a free call, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Bill is in Harrisonburg, Virginia, to start off this hour. Hey, Bill, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so I'm 41 years old. My wife and I, we entered baby step 7 1 year ago when we paid our house off.
Way to go.
Net worth is about $900K. Income's about $210 per year.
Whoop, whoop.
And we, thanks to your teachings, we have moved forward in our financial lives, and we are just loving it. We have a new baby at home. That brings the grand total to 2. Our investments, I'm maxing out my Roth 401k and my HSA, and I'm also investing in my 529 for my 2 children. So my question is this: I want to get into some bridge investing that will give me some income ahead of the typical retirement age. I think I want to get into investing in rental properties. So my question is, should I be maxing out all Roth IRA accounts for my wife and I before I do any type of bridge investing? Because I think there's a little bit of room to do all of it.
I did when I was at your stage, and what we're talking about is a $14,000 swing with a $200,000 income, so it doesn't matter. I mean, if $14,000 keeps you from your bridge thing winning, it probably wasn't going to win.
True. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, so it's not enough that it matters. If it was $100,000 that we're talking about, then yeah, I might say don't do it and let's work on the bridge because you're smart to do the bridge. So what I did is just maxed out everything just because I hate freaking taxes. And I put as much money in anything I can put in that the government keeps their hands off of. What you're doing, you got your Roth, 401k, you got your HSA, you got all that going. And then once I had all that, and you do your backdoor Roths in your case to do individual Roths. And then that would get you another 14 in there, but then, or 13 anyway. But and then I dumped money into an S&P 500 until there was enough in there to buy a piece of real estate.
Yeah, so I can do that, and with my employer, I can do within my retirement plan. I can do a Roth, backdoor Roth, all the way up to like $50,000 a year. So there's a lot of options, but I really want to get into that rental real estate
50.
area. So I think what I'm going to do is,
how are you getting to 50?
Well, so with the account, so basically, I think I can do 22,000 a year. Once I hit that max. I can. It's through Fidelity. My company allows $50,000 a year total. So what I can do after I hit that 22, I call Fidelity and say, hey, it's an after-tax input into the 401k. But then you call them and tell them before anything's invested, they flip it right into the Roth. So it's essentially a
I would not do that much if real estate and bridge is your goal. If you were only doing traditional individual backdoors, that's only $14K, probably do that. But I would not do that extra $25K. I would use that towards your bridge.
I think I got the answer to my question. Thank you so much for your teachings. You have incredibly changed my life.
You're a 40-year-old millionaire making $200K with a brand new baby. I'm so proud of you.
Right. When did you start this, Bill? When did you start this journey?
I bought my first house in 2009. That's about when I found Dave on the AM radio in Virginia where I live, and I just became a student of the game. I discovered the podcast and been living it ever since. We paid off our house. It's worth about $475 last year, and it is true. The grass feels different under your feet once you pay that thing off. So it's incredible. We're loving it.
Dude, I'm proud of you. Well done. You're why we come down here and do this every day. That's very, very cool.
That's amazing, and such a great testimony for all the young people out there who, we're sitting here saying, get started now, be consistent over time. This is what your life could look like in your early 40s.
It's a testimony and an inspiration for those of you who do positive thinking. Those of you who are whiners, it's a mic drop in your face, okay? So you can't do it. America's dead, and my college professor was Karl Marx, and I think capitalism is evil. And yeah, I mean, I can't help you with that, but Bill can. He just dropped a mic on you, so there you go. It's good. It's
That's
very good.
impressive, and I think that message needs to be out there because we do hear so much negativity in the press.
Well, here's the thing. We are all, I mean, this culture, there's so much room to be a complete screw up and still become wealthy. I mean, because we just spend so much money. You just did no spend January. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
No spend for a whole month.
No spending for
Now
a whole month.
explain what you did, because it was inspiring.
Well, we only spent on essentials, so no discretionary spending, and we made sure to stay under $100 a week on groceries.
No eating out.
No eating out, no money for
And
entertainment.
no purchases on Amazon.
No, man.
No Prime. No Prime
Dave.
Flicks.
That was hard for me.
Yeah, it was an Amazon fast.
It was an Amazon fast. I did not realize how mindless I was getting with Amazon, and it's ridiculous. I'm embarrassed.
So what was the result of doing this?
We saved kind of an embarrassing amount. We saved a few $1,000s beyond what we normally save. Beyond.
Oh, own it.
Can I share it on air?
You need to say it. Brag it.
Okay, beyond our normal 15% HSA, normal savings for the house, we saved $2,400 this month.
That's a brag.
$2,400
In 1 month.
In 1 month. It's
And
amazing.
people emailed you that were following you on Instagram doing it, and a lot of them did more than that.
Oh, I had people saying they saved over $6,000. And you know what's really cool?
If you don't eat out and you don't spend on crap that you don't have to live,
right?
and you limit your grocery budget to a reasonable amount, you can save $2,000 to $6,000 a month in a lot of households, which is what we tell people to do when they're in baby step 2 anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hair on fire, scorched earth, drop an atomic bomb on your lifestyle, no eating out, no vacationing, stop your whining, get your stupid butt out of debt. And this is what we tell people. And you did it. You're already out of debt, obviously, but you did it just to prove what spending does to you and your husband.
Yeah, well, I was telling people that, I feel like our budget got fluffy, kind of like I did over Christmas with all those cookies, and it was time to cut it back and to
Let me
rein
just tell you,
things in.
America is the definition of fluffy. We're out of shape, and we spend like we're in Congress, and then we whine because we can't get ahead. It's ridiculous.
Unless you did the no spend with me, then you are crushing it now, and we are winning.
Oh, this is CrossFit right here. You just busted up into it. I like that. Way to go. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
And
you.
I'm proud of you leading a whole bunch of people on Instagram to do that, too. All it is
so
a nice
proud.
little wake-up call. It's like a fast. You realize, maybe I do eat too much all the time. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Well, you should have gotten your W-2s by now, your 1099s by now. They're supposed to be to you in the month of January, which means you're saying, oh, taxes. I love taxes, said no one ever. If you do, you're just strange and you should see a counselor. But anyway, So I know taxes can be stressful. We all hate them, and we've all heard that 16% of you would rather get a root canal than file taxes. What? Well, that's pretty bad. I'm pretty close, though. If I had to do my own, man, I'm telling you. Hey, if you want to take the stress off of filing off your shoulders, we can help you. Connect with a Ramsey trusted tax professional. These guys and gals are CPAs or enrolled agents. They're not part-timers who swoop in just during tax season. They're actually professionals, and they live and breathe taxes. Oh, that's weird. But they're available for year-round support of all kinds. They have the heart of a teacher, and they'll get your taxes done for you. If you want to find out who we recommend as a Ramsey Trusted Tax Pro in your area, go to RamseySolutions.com/taxpro and get connected today. RamseySolutions.com/taxpro and get connected today. Pretty simple stuff. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thank you for joining us. So let's continue on the no-spend January thing that you did. It's pretty impressive. You saved over $2,000, almost $2,400, you said, right?
$2,400.
And it was not eating out, not clicking on Amazon, and limiting your grocery budget and not buying anything that really you didn't need to do life.
Yeah, nothing discretionary, nothing unnecessary.
And a lot of people following you on Instagram had even better results. There's a lot of fluff in our fluffiness out there. We're fluffy, 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 fluffy.
Fluffy, fluffy.
So what are some of the responses you got? 'Cause you had a whole bunch of people following you on
Gosh, so many wins. I literally was going through my Instagram before this and was like, you can't cry, Christina, you're about to go on the show. But I just wanted to tear up because y'all killed it. It is so inspiring to see this. So one person said, I stuck to no spend challenge with you. I just look at my balance. I'm ending the month with $2,942 extra. Oh my gosh, just wow. I've done a no spend before, but I obviously must have cheated or something because my income hasn't changed in the past year. And I do have to say, I'm a little embarrassed. I've got so much money left over. Clearly, I was not doing a good job at managing my money.
Ooh, makes you want to do your budget.
Right. I know. That was what I was thinking. I was like, this is good motivation. Another person said on the debt snowball, we have paid off $3,000 in credit card debt this past month.
Wow, in 1 month.
In 1 month. Somebody said we've saved $6,200 this January.
Gum.
Right? Another person said they paid off $550. Another person said we're on baby step 6, and we were able to pay an extra $3,000 towards our mortgage on no spend.
Wow.
Another person said we saved $5,000 during no spend January. We're currently in stork mode because we're adopting twins in June, and we saw just how much we don't need right now.
Wow.
Loved it. Somebody else said, I reduced over $1,200 in expenses, grocery subscriptions, Amazon, and mani-pedis.
Well, that's not okay.
Yeah, we've saved over $900 from not eating out and ate a bunch of food at home that would have gone to waste otherwise. And the list just goes on and on. It's just incredible. Y'all crushed it. And I just want to say, I am so stinking proud of you. Like, this is just so inspiring to me. And my heart's on fire. So good job, everybody who did this with me. You have just proved that you can win. And so many people said, I was embarrassed. I thought I was doing a good job saving. That's me and my husband. We save aggressively. And it's like, we save quite a bit. And we still had $2,400 that was going to garbage, like just Amazon purchases that I'm not going to remember in 5 years. Like, I'm not going to care about those purchases. And that's where our money was going. It's ridiculous. I was eating memories that could have been made. I was eating savings. And so it's like, all this stuff with inflation, groceries, the world's getting harder, everything's expensive. We can still control our finances. We can still buckle down. If you feel like you don't have room in your budget to get to the next baby step, I challenge you to do a no spend month. You will probably be surprised at the margin that you do have. But first, you have to commit to getting control of your money. And I'm just so ridiculously proud of all the people who did it.
Yeah, it's very cool. Me too. Yeah. So here's the message out of this whole thing. Not that you live cheap, never buy anything, and never go out to eat your whole life. That is not what we're suggesting. The beautiful thing about doing a no-spend month or getting on to baby step 2 and just buckling down and doing essentially the same thing and throwing it all at debt, which is what we've been teaching for 30 years. The beautiful thing about that is it tells you can.
Absolutely.
And then you have the ability to choose at that point to live like no one else so that later you can live and give and spend like no one else. If you have $8 million, you can spend more than if you're broke. Okay?
Yep.
And you can enjoy and do some things than if you're broke. And you can, we met a couple at the break here. They're driven all over the United States. They're out on a massive road trip because they can. Okay? Why? Because they got out of debt, because they did no spend. And they realized that, but the what we're trying to break here is the mentality among a group of people in America. You might be among them. I don't know if you listening are among them. I'm sure someone out there is that thinks that it's impossible to get ahead in America today. And our answer is, you fluffy.
You fluffy.
You fluffy. You got fluff. Get rid of the fluffy. And you can do this.
Well,
you have margin if you quit whining and playing the victim.
Absolutely. And it's about getting intentional with your spending. Like I said, I was fluffy, and it's like, I don't want to get
you teach this for a living. You work here, for God's
sakes.
sakes.
Get fluffy, y'all, especially when you get in baby step 6. It's easy to be like, I'm saving 15%. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm paying off a house, and it's easy to get fluffy. But I also want to go on vacation this summer. I want to do really great things with my kids that I'll remember. I don't want to go, man, we really need to buckle back on vacation and memories that our kids will cherish because I bought extra stuff on Amazon that I'm not going to remember.
Yeah, see, what you never want to do again, ever with your money, you need to be one of two things. You need to be intense while you're trying to achieve a certain goal, and you're buckling down to where your broke friends are making fun of you like you joined a cult. Oh, you're doing that Ramsey stuff, aren't you? Yep. Shut up, you're broke. And you're so intense that you're freaking people out, and that's like a no-spend month, right? Mm-hmm. No eating out, no vacations. Right? That's for a period of time. It's not a life. If you're not intense, what you have to do is you have to be intentional. Every dollar leaves under my command. I make enough money today, and I have enough money to do almost anything I want to do. But I still have to leave no dollars leave Dave and Sharon's house without being under our command. So it's not fluffy. Now, it's doing some things that we never dreamed when we were little kids that we would be able to do. We just hoped. But we've been, doing these principles for 30 years have put us in a position to give and to live like no one else. But it's intentional. We're going to lay this out, and we're not going to go, oh, I don't know where that went. We're not going to ever have that moment. I have no idea where that money went. We're just out of control. We're just bleeding.
Right. Well, even if you know where it went to, especially in this inflationary environment, if you're saving, it's easy to go, you know what, we're going to add a little bit more to the grocery budget this month, and we're going to add a little bit more to this line item.
That's intentional.
But at the same time, you also need to go, do I really need to spend more on groceries, or do I need to meal plan better? Or do I, you know what I mean? Like, do I need to really up my Amazon budget, or do I need to go, oh, it's better if I eliminate stuff and just decide I don't need as much stuff?
Yeah. Do you want to eat out every night, or do you want to go on a nice vacation this summer? I don't care which one you do, but you ought to do it on purpose. Don't say, I can't afford to go on vacation when you eat out every night. You can afford. You just chose to do something else. Or we can't afford to eat out. No, you chose to go on vacation. Instead, you put the money in that pile. And so that's intentionality. No whining. No victim. You're in control. Tell your freaking money what to do. This is The Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions. because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is our co-host today. We appreciate you guys being with us. Hey, if you didn't know, this show started as a talk radio show, and it still is. We're the second largest talk radio show in America. 680 radio stations carry the show. Thank you for that. And thank you for those of you that listen on talk radio. You're how this whole thing started. Of course, when they came out with a podcast, a guy came in my office and said, "We need a podcast." And I said, "What's that?" And we were one of the first people to start podcasting. We put an hour of this show on podcast and later on added the other 2 hours a day to the podcast. Without commercials, it is more like 38 minutes on a podcast. And so a lot of you listen on podcasts now. And then, of course, we've added YouTube, and it's exploded, and millions of you are there. All told, between those three, there's about 25 million of you in a week. Thank you. We appreciate you very, very much. Leave a 5-star review, if you would, if you're in one of those technologies where you can leave a review. You don't need to bother with a 1-star review. Mama said if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. And that's a good plan right there. We don't need that help. We need the help, though, because it helps the algorithms if you punch on the internet that way. And so leave a nice review. Share it. If you're listening on talk radio, sharing it means tell your friends to listen to that talk radio station. If you click on it, if it's one of the Spotify or Apple or somebody, you can send it around, right? We appreciate that. YouTube allows you to share. Thank you for sharing. Something else your mother taught you to do. There's a lot of mama lessons here. And so do that and just help us spread the word. The best way this show, listen, you're listening for free. You're getting great world-class advice for free. The way you can say thank you is help us spread the word. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. I just got a report in that is very, very interesting. For the first time in history, more people are listening on a mobile device than on a radio in the nation onto this type of product. Okay, some of the radio, some of the broadcast industry stuff. And so the lines crossed in 2022 for the first time ever.
Wow.
Now, our lines crossed. We actually have a few more of you on podcast than we do on radio right now. Our lines crossed about 3 years ago with this product. But we don't care where you listen. That's why we're everywhere. We're on Sirius XM. You can listen on satellite. Jump in there. And next week, we're coming on TBN for an hour a day. And so you can jump in there. TBN has done a whole new set of programming that is much more mainstream than the old days. And it's much more like regular stuff than the old days. And they approached us and we were able to work a deal with them, non-exclusive, obviously, because we're on everything. So now you can watch there. There's 70 million households get, cable and Dish and all that have TBN. And so not everybody, that doesn't mean 70 million people are turning it on, but I'm giving you the opportunity to turn it on. It's like 5 to 6 in the afternoon, 5 to 6 in the evenings, Eastern time, I believe it is. So you can find it on there, though. It's pretty easy, and it's starting on February the 6th. So thank you guys for all of that. The success breeds success, and you guys letting people know is the number one thing. The number one thing. So thank you. Natasha is with us in Virginia Beach. Hey, Natasha, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me on the show.
We're honored. How can we help?
All right. Okay. So my husband and I, we got married last year, anniversary coming up on the 5th of February. And since then, we've paid off all of our debt. We have no debt, no car payment.
Get 'em.
We both owned homes. So we paid off the mortgage of the home that I was living in. I had 2 children prior to the marriage, so I wanted to keep their life kind of stable. And we rented out his property, which is about 2 hours away. So we have some income coming in from that. Now, we've also looked at a property, and we've started the process of building a home in North Carolina so that prices are cheaper, taxes are cheaper. We wanted to sell the house because there's no mortgage on this house, sell this house, take all of the money from this house and put it on to the new house, and we will come out with a mortgage about $100,000.
Why don't you sell the other one and be debt free?
Well, the thing is, this house has a lot more
sell both of them.
attached to it. Huh?
Sell both of them.
Oh, well, that's an option, but
And you pay cash for your North Carolina house, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, that's what we were trying to do. Like, what's the smart decision? Because he was saying we could pay off the other house and then move into it, but with the mortgage rate being almost 6%, it didn't make sense to try and hold on to the new mortgage. Like, paying that off as quick as possible was the strategy that I was thinking to do.
Mm-hmm. So I thought you were keeping the kids stable, but now you're moving them to North Carolina. I'm confused.
Well, at the time, because it was in the middle of the school year.
Oh.
So now it's like it's right at the summer. We could move within the summertime, and then everything would move smoothly. You know what I mean? I didn't want to transition. I have one son who's about to start high school.
I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
How much is the other house worth? The rental house.
The other house is the one. I'm sorry.
The rental house.
The rental house is $121,000.
What's owed on it?
Oh, how much is it worth? Sorry, $220.
Oh, it's worth
It's
$220.
$220, and we owe $121.
Oh, so you had $100,000 equity. Okay. And how much mortgage are you talking about taking out in North Carolina if you keep that rental?
$150.
Oddly enough. So
Right.
I'll tell you what old Dave and Sharon would do. We'd be debt-free in North Carolina with a grin on our face. All those other properties are going to be sold.
Okay.
And then use the fact that you have no payments in the world of any kind to start saving up some money. And if you pile up a little money, you can buy you a little rental there in North Carolina where you can lay hands on it. Long distance landlording is dangerous, and you didn't set out to be a long distance landlord. It happened by default.
Right.
It was never your plan. It was because he already had the house, and then you got married, and he decided living with you is a better idea, and I like his idea.
Okay.
Well, and talking about stability for your kids, being in baby step 7, having no payments in the world, that is a beautiful level of stability. And like Dave said,
I think, that's the scary part, because we're in the midst of it. And it's like, we don't have a mortgage right now. We're about to walk into a mortgage.
Well, you do have a mortgage. You got a mortgage on the rental.
Or a rental. But we're not feeling it right now because
but here's the thing.
there.
Here's the thing. You're going to have no mortgage anywhere.
Yeah.
If you do this. This is cool. What do y'all make? What's your household income?
About $70,000. I'm not working. He's working.
Where are you moving in North Carolina?
Mooryock.
What? Where's that?
Yeah. Mooryock is right when you at the border of Virginia and North Carolina. It's like new development. It's like it's going towards Nag Head.
Okay. I know where that is. Okay. That's a beautiful area. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it's stellar. That is the mountains. That's something incredible.
Are y'all going there for work?
No, we can still get to work. Like, we're only 30 minutes away from the house we're in now. It's not really
It's just over the line.
Yeah.
I thought you were going deep down.
We won't feel it. We won't feel it at all. And it's 2 acres of land out there.
And it's pretty. That's a beautiful area. Am I right?
Yes, it is.
It really is. It's stellar. Yeah, sell everything and pay cash for your new house. That's what I would do if I woke up in your shoes, and that's what you were asking. What would you do?
Yeah, same. That's so exciting that you have the second house, that you have the equity, all of that. And talk about a way to start off your marriage, celebrate anniversary, all of that good stuff. Baby step 7, here you come. That's amazing.
Ding, 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 ding. I love it. So proud of y'all. Well done, Natasha. Well done. Got the house paid. Yeah, this is good. This is very good. This is the Ramsey Show. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. We appreciate you joining us. Hey, a lot of you are brand new listeners because a lot of you are joining us on all those formats we were talking about the other day. And if you're a new listener and you want to figure out what this is, it's kind of like, you're jumping into all this Ramsey speak, like baby steps and debt snowballs and all these things. You don't know where you are, and it's kind of like trying to join somebody in the middle of skipping rope or something, right? So where do we do this? Well, let me help you. If you're brand new, go to RamseySolutions.com, click on the Get Started button. It costs absolutely nothing. We'll help you figure out your next best step based on where you are today. It's a little quick survey on getting started, and then we will show you exactly what to do. So it's completely free, and if you're going, I don't know what they're talking about half the time, they speak in code, because we kind of do. We've got such a large tribe of people doing this stuff that we all have our own thing. Funny thing, Christine, I was walking through an airport the other day with one of my buddies. We were going this thing, and a guy yells all the way across the airport. I mean, across the I'm coming to see you in March, Dave. And my buddy's like, who is that? And I'm like, I don't know. And he said, I said, he's coming to do his debt-free scream. And he goes, how do you know that? And I said, because that's who yells through an airport that says they're coming to see me in March when I've never met them. It's code.
You're like, that's our tribe.
I mean, that's it. And so the other thing, stuff like that. So if the Domino's pizza guy delivers your pizza and you say, how you doing? He says, better than I deserve. That's code. He's working an extra job to get out of debt, double his tip. Don't be cheap. So it's code. You need to know the tribe speak. You need to know the code around here, and we'll help you with it, right?
Yep. We will get you there.
I'm coming to see you in March, Dave.
Gazelle intense.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, it's like some people would be going, I'll have my gun. Stalker. But no, I knew exactly what the guy's talking about. And it's like, he knew I would know.
Right.
That's it. So, and
also like the enthusiasm level. I feel like that's like signature for our tribe.
Yelling across the airport.
Right.
And everybody stops and looks. They're all got their heads down on their phones, right? And it's like whack-a-mole. All these heads pop up. But it's like, we're having this conversation. My buddy's confused. He's like, what is he talking about? So but that's it. You get because we do a little bit of that on here. You talk about FPU. We have all these lingo. What's FPU? Financial Peace University. It's like being in the military. They've got all these letters, and you have to know what all that stuff means. And I was never in the military, so they start talking that stuff, and I'm like, okay, you have to tell me what the acronym is. I don't get it. So, all right, Jan is with us. Jan's in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Hi, Jan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
My husband and I have been part of your tribe since 2014. We are debt-free, baby step 7. He is retired already. He retired about a year ago. I'm planning to retire from the federal government in October at age 60. I'm wanting to know if my TSP is fluffy enough, I guess, as you would say, to take a lump sum out of that to help pay for our retirement home.
Okay. How much do you want to take out, and how much is in your total nest egg?
Okay. Well, right now, our income when I retire will be all pensions. Mm-hmm. We will have about $8,400 a month coming in his pension and Social Security, and that will be my federal government pension without touching the TSP.
Gotcha. And how much is in your total nest egg, his and yours combined?
Our total nest egg right now is about $900,000. We would sell our existing home, and I think we would probably get around $200,000 for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the TSP has $660,000.
Okay, so you got $900,000, and you want to spend how much of the $900,000 on the upgrade house?
About $100,000.
Of course. This is what you do.
Yeah, I counted up, and we're baby steps millionaires, but
you definitely are millionaires. And you're going to drop $100,000 out of your $1 million almost that you have in mutual funds in your retirement, and to add to your other house when it sells, to move up into your dream house after you've worked your butt off your whole life. Yes, this is what you do. Absolutely.
That makes me feel good because we're only thinking a $500,000 house. So if we can pull $100,000 out of the thrift savings, and then we can buy it all debt free. We can
and that's the only way I'm going to tell you to do it. Debt free, pay cash, because you don't want to go back in debt. My God, you got out.
And we're hoping to not really touch the principal on the thrift savings. Like I said, we're hoping for a long time at least to be able to just live off the pension.
Oh, I think you can. $8,400 with no debt. Good Lord. Of course you can.
Yeah, leave a legacy for our kids.
Yeah, that's fine, and or spend it. I don't care what you do, or give it away. But you're in good shape. So, and here's the thing: you guys are how old?
He is 61. I am 60. Okay. Or I will be 60 in October when I retire.
Okay, so when you guys are 68, your $800,000, if you don't touch it and you leave it in good mutual funds, will be 1.6.
Okay.
When you're 75, it'll be 3.2.
Sounds good.
See, I think your 100's okay.
Y'all are going to live a good life.
I'm hoping to travel, move a little closer to a grandbaby that's coming.
There you go. There you go. Game on. So, hey, girl, I'm so proud of you. So did y'all inherit any of this?
Maybe $100,000.
Okay. All right.
Total between our two parents. We did have my husband's home place as a rental home for a while. We inherited.
So are you millionaires because of an inheritance or because of your saving?
We're millionaires because of the savings.
Yeah, I think mathematically that's an accurate statement.
Yeah.
I'm proud of y'all. And well done.
Dave, thank you, because we started your plan in 2014, and as a result, we've sent one son to school totally debt free. He went to in-state school. We have a daughter who is still in college, but she has a fully funded college fund. She'll be going debt free, even if we spend the extra $100,000 on our retirement house.
Yeah.
So the plan works.
It does work, and you worked it. So what'd y'all do for a living when you were working?
My husband was actually our county fire marshal.
Mm-hmm.
And I work for the Department of Veterans Affairs, so I kind of tune out a little bit sometimes when you talk bad about us. But yeah, he worked for local government for 40 years. I have worked for federal government will be 28 years. So government workers.
And you're millionaires.
And we are. Yeah. Just barely, but we got there.
I love it. Way to go. So proud of y'all.
That is so cool. And I love that they found you in 2014. So
this is 8 years.
8 years. So for people in your 50s that are thinking like, oh, it's too late.
Well, they already had a head start, though. They didn't do the whole thing in 8 years.
Right. But people can still do this, even if it takes another 10 years. Absolutely. I just feel like we talk to people sometimes who are a little bit older and they're like, oh, man, I wish I would have found this in my 20s or 30s. And they feel like they missed the boat. You didn't. You didn't miss the boat.
I've been teaching this stuff for 30 plus years now, and I always get the question, am I too old to save money? And I always say, no, not if you're sucking wind. You can always save money. Now, is it as easy if you start when you're 58? No, it's harder because you don't have the power of compound interest over time working for you. The math doesn't work as easy, but you can still do it.
Yeah.
And I've met lots of people that became millionaires in 10 years, and a lot of them did it starting in their late 50s.
Yep.
And so it can be done. Now,
it's wild that like either end of the spectrum, you could make an excuse. You could be young and say, Gen Z is never going to be able to become millionaires because of the system being set up bad. Or you could be old and saying it's too late. And it's like, no, either end of the spectrum.
There's systemic problems with the economy. I love when they can say the word systemic at 21.
Sounds so smart.
Systemic. They're so smart. They have a systemic problem with the economy. It's you. You're the systemic problem. You're a virus.
I love the new words that people are coming up with. I saw one the other day that I was like, is that really a word? Like,
What?
I don't even remember. It was something about gender and race and mixing them together. And I was like, I have never heard that word before.
There's a lot of things that people are coming up with there. That's for sure.
It's a lot.
Well, I mean, if you need a new word, just go to TikTok. They got one on there, I'm sure. They'll
All the best education coming from
all the best education
coming from TikTok.
Well, I'm on TikTok now, so
I heard.
I'm not, but our people here in the building have put me on there. Apparently, I'm a big deal.
Times are changing,
I'm
y'all.
a big deal on TikTok. If y'all didn't know, I'm just saying, I'm a really
Dave
big
is on
deal.
TikTok.
I'm a big deal on TikTok. Check it out. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Christina Ellis. If you love the show and want to dive deeper on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people do work that they love, build wealth, and create actual amazing relationships. Thank you for joining us, America. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Natalie is in Modesto, California. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hi. I am currently on baby step 2, and for work, I am a federal employee. Because I'm a federal employee, and also the position that I'm in, I am deemed essential. So, in an event of a government shutdown, I would still have to work, but without a paycheck during that period of a shutdown. So, with the recent talks of a government shutdown this year, which the talk of government shutdown is always in the air every year, but this time it's actually making me a little bit nervous. So my question is, since I'm on baby step 2, should I increase my starter emergency fund in case there is a government shutdown this year?
No.
No? Okay.
No, you don't ever increase your baby step emergency fund. What you might do is you might push pause on the whole dadgum thing and pile up cash.
Okay.
But just push pause on your whole baby steps. No baby steps at all are involved. There's a tornado coming towards our house, and we need an emergency. We need a big pile of money.
Okay, so just don't even
stop everything
fund, just
pile up cash everywhere if you think this is going to happen.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
How long have you been a federal government employee?
This is my second year, so I haven't experienced anything, when it comes to the government shutdown since I joined.
Go back and do a little research for yourself. How many times you've actually been shut down?
Yeah,
It's hardly ever.
Hardly ever. Yeah,
I think 3 times in 30 years or something like that.
Yeah, and the most recent one being in January of 2019. It's just I'm feeling a little nervous because, one, maybe it's because I'm doing this debt-free journey, and 2, my coworkers are making me nervous as well. So they're in talks of, raising their emergency fund, or they're saving up money in case they're
broke people.
Okay.
So we need to decide what the real threat is, okay? So if someone calls me up and says, our company is considering layoffs, do I stop everything and build up an emergency fund? Then the question is, what is the probability you are going to be laid off? If it's if it's 50-50, yeah, stop. Build up cash. If you think there's a 10% chance you're going to be laid off, this is called worrying. Just work your plan and shut up. Okay? So what do you think the probability is, after doing a little bit of research, not listening to your broke coworkers who worry about everything, but really looking at it and saying, okay, in the current political environment, what things are the same as they were during the times that the 3 times it did get shut down in 30 years, or whatever the number is? I don't remember. I'm guessing, but it's not far off of that. And so, you know, and oh, by the way, there's 14 times or 26 times that we almost did, and only 3 times they did. And so it's usually just a bunch of hogwash, and we keep working. And
that's my,
Yeah, and if you think, you know, okay, there's a 10% chance this is going to happen, go with it. Just keep working your plan.
Hey, Natalie, how much debt do you have?
I currently $80,000 right now.
Okay, and are you working a second job?
No, I work currently with my schedule. I'm currently working 7 days a week, and
what do you
and it
make?
rotates every 6 months. My base salary right now is at $57,000 a year. That's my base salary, but with overtime, I'm projected to make about 105, 110 this year.
Okay, cool.
How much overtime are you doing right now?
All day long.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. Again, every 6 months our schedule changes, so I'm probably going to have the schedule for the full year. So I'm doing at least 75 hours of working 75
and you're not
to 80
required
hours
to
a
do
week.
the overtime if they shut down.
I am required to
No,
do
not
it.
overtime.
Well, to be more specific, I work for the USDA, so my schedule is based on the factories that I work for. So if the factories are working, I work. So they are deemed essential, so I'm essential, so I'm most 100% I'll be working overtime.
Because the reason I'm asking that is I'm thinking, like, if for some crazy scenario the government shut down, if you had a side hustle, if you had another source of income that could be helpful.
You got no margin to do that.
Right, but with 75 hours a week, whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, and before the schedule, I had the time, but again, our schedule changes from time to time, so I'm taking advantage of the schedule I have right now.
Yeah, I get that, and you're you're working your butt off, girl. Way to go! I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
and that's tough, and what you're doing is a lot of hard work too. It's not wussy work. This is real work. So, you have to decide what you think the probability, with actual facts, not whiners at work, but the actual probability of the shutdown is. And if you think it's 50-50, then I would stop everything and pile up cash. I personally don't think this one is 50-50.
Okay.
That's a personal opinion, but you can look at it and say, because I think what's going on is the jockeying with a new Republican Congress against a Democrat Senate, and they're trying to, it's a power play. The shutdowns usually are power plays, by the way. But you've got a president on one side, a Senate on that side, and then you've got the Republicans on the other side in the Congress, and so they're gonna push around and act like they did something, and then at the last minute they're all going to sign up. That's what they do 99% of the time, but that's just an opinion from somebody who has no respect for hardly any of those people up there. So,
Dave, I think we just need you to go to Washington and run.
Don't.
We need you to run their budget.
There would be war.
We need you to teach them how to budget.
There would be a war. You don't want me up there.
How are we running our country at a deficit? Like we're not doing a zero-based budget. We're doing.
We need a no-spend month.
Yes, we do.
In the Congress.
Come on. Let's go.
Well, then Sarah would be back off of overtime. Or Natalie, rather. I'm sorry. Oh, my goodness. Sorry about that, Natalie. Hey, you'll be okay, kiddo. I think you're okay, but you look at it and you make the judgment. Don't stop your plan based on worries, because worries are always there. But if the facts are scary, then you would stop your plan and pile up cash. That's the moral of the story for all of you facing these kinds of things. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Christine Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Our question of the day today is from Brian in New Mexico. You want to read it?
Yeah. My wife and I are working on baby step 2 and should be complete in less than 2 years. We're looking towards the future and worried about how we will pay for college for our 8-year-old daughter. I have an IRA worth $66,000, and I'm thinking about moving about $10,000 of it into a 529. Is this possible and or a smart thing to do? How would it affect the tax side of things if we do this? It's an interesting question. I personally, and Dave, you may have a different opinion, I would say if you're in baby step 2, right now, I would just be worried about baby step 2 and focused on that, especially with an 8-year-old daughter. Paying for college, if you can do that for your daughter, that's going to be a nice gift. But given that she's 8 years old, one, you do have some margin and time to save, but also, there's a lot of different ways to pay for college. There's scholarships, there's tuition-free schools, there's so many different options. And right now, I want you all to be set up, getting out of debt and saving towards retirement. So I love that you're thinking about the 529, but right now I'd be more focused on baby step 2.
Exactly. Yeah. And no, you cannot move money from a 401k or an IRA to a 529, not without paying the penalties for early withdrawal. So it's not an option, number one. Number two, if it was an option, I would tell you not to do it for the same reasons Christina just did. So, let's don't do that and work your baby steps. You're going to get to baby step 5. At that point, you're going to start saving for college into a 529. And during that time, you're going to get better and better at managing money. You're going to get more and more margin because you're going to have no debt except your home when you're at baby step 4, 5, and 6, working on paying off your house, saving for retirement, saving for your kids' college. And you're going to, have more and more than you think you're going to have, because this doesn't work on a straight line. You're looking at a snapshot of your life, which is today. Life is a film strip. It's not a snapshot. Things are going to change every frame as you go along. Generally, if you're working a plan, they get better financially, generally. I mean, sometimes people have setbacks that they can't do anything about, but generally that's what's going to happen. So,
including your income going up, getting out of debt, hopefully eventually being in baby step 7. As you get closer to college, there's a chance that even if you don't have a huge pile of cash to pay for her education, you may be able to cash flow some of that.
Yeah. Now, you shouldn't be adding right now to your 401k. You should be working your baby step 2. You stop your 401k temporarily when you're in baby step 2 and you pay on debt. Smallest to largest, and you're working that snowball that way. That's a big deal. And so it's smart to look ahead and be thinking, unless it causes you to get into panic mode and start doing stupid stuff. And this is on the stupid stuff list. Don't do this, okay? Even if you could, don't do it. Now, here's the other thing. Well, the other part of Christina's advice is the real answer to your question. The thing you can start working on for her college is her, okay? For instance, we explained to our children that they were going to in-state schools. They were never really giving an option on that because we're not going to overpay for college. And we didn't have any pro athletes or geniuses in the Ramsey house that got 4.0s, okay? So they were like regular kids, and they were not going to be getting academic or athletic scholarships. We did not know about Christina and the magic of scholarships in those days, and so we said, you're going to a state school. So college choice is something you can start working on today. Follow the correct football team, we don't want to be confused. And let's understand that the parents run the house, not the child. Well, my child told me my child didn't tell me stuff. I told them stuff. That was how that works. Well, you're controlling. Yep, my money. You can count on me being controlling in that case. Yep, my kid. You can count on me being controlling in this. You can tell your therapist about it when you're 30, but for right now, you're going to freaking do what I say. Okay.
Well, and also, it's important to start having these conversations about money and college, and that it costs money early on. Because I talk to parents of seniors all the time who are like, hey, I went home and I had a conversation about college being expensive with my senior, and they don't want to do anything but play video games. And I'm like, well, let's see. Have they been active before? Like, have they been doing sports? Are they involved in activities? Are they active?
There's hardly any scholarships for Mario.
Right. For couch potatoes.
Hardly any.
There's not a couch potato scholarship, y'all.
Not that I'm aware of. There's a lot of scholarships, but I'm not aware of that one.
Right. And so it's like they don't. And then
so
also
school choice scholarships plan on working. So teaching your 8-year-old how to work age appropriately and how to make value-based decisions. What is something worth what it costs? Yep. And then how to look for scholarships and do things that are not normal that your friends don't do. And so we didn't go on a college tour and visit 17 colleges. We also didn't go look at Mercedes-Benz when they turned 16 because they weren't getting one. So there was no reason to be on that lot because you're not going there. And so, this is now. If you want to do all that stuff, I'm not mad at you. But this thing of these people have a sense that the college system is happening to you when you instead can happen to it, and that's a bigger part of the equation than moving $10,000 to your 529.
Absolutely, being proactive about it, having these money conversations earlier, instilling these work ethic and values into your kids early on, that makes a huge difference. Talk to them about this stuff. Tell them what the future is going to look like. Talk to them about money and scholarships. And just doing that, they're going to be so much more prepared. That's why we have the student loan crisis right now. A lot of these kids didn't know about money. Nobody talked to them. And the first person that really had an in-depth conversation was somebody offering them a student loan.
It's a little bit mean, and it's one of the few mean things Rachel Cruz says, but she says we don't really have a student loan crisis. We have a parenting crisis. Step up, Mom and Dad. Don't let your 17-year-old, your 18-year-old do stupid butt stuff that's going to take them 2 decades to recover from.
Right.
That's what it amounts to. And that's, you're going to go $200,000 in debt to get a degree in left-handed puppetry or German polka history and then whine because the society owes you a living. And I need President Biden to forgive my debt because I'm dumber than a rock.
Well, but it's not even just like, it's sad, but it's also like, these are 17-year-olds. They're inherently like, their prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed. They're not supposed to, like, they don't necessarily inherently know all of this.
For those of you that don't know, that's their brain.
Right.
It's not fully developed.
It's not. And so it's like, they're kind of supposed to be a little dumb. Like, that's just part of it.
It's part of being 17.
It's part of being 17.
You don't get to choose.
We all made dumb decisions at 17 years old, but they shouldn't have zeros attached.
If you're going to pay $50,000 a year for a college instead of $12,000, there needs to be a real reason, and you need to have the money or the scholarships. So you went to freaking Vanderbilt and got a degree, which is like, what, $60,000 a year?
It's close to 70. It's over 70 now.
Okay. And so, we're not saying you all have to do what Redneck Dave did and made his kid go to state college. We don't all have to do that. So there's nothing wrong with Vanderbilt except their football team. So you can go over there and go to school for $60,000 a year. But by the way, Christina did not pay a dime to go there.
Right. And that was part of the conversation with my mom. And she's like, you're on your own paying for college, but you got to get scholarships. You have to figure out a way to pay for it. Student loans,
and then you went and got your master's at freaking Belmont, right?
Yeah.
Was it your master's? Is that right? Or were you a PhD too? I can't remember.
Master's. I'm not as cool as Deloney.
Okay. Nobody's as cool as Deloney. But, yeah, so master's at Belmont, and that's like $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
52, I think, or something, yeah.
It's up there.
So, I mean, you picked out 2 freaking expensive schools, but you got $500,000 in scholarships.
Yep.
Pay cash for both of them.
Yep. Well, scholarships paid for
Telling
it.
your business here, girl. But I mean, this is your business. So
that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I felt those overwhelming feelings of like, how am I going to pay for this education? My mom's already told me I'm on my own, but I'm going to figure it out.
And let me just tell you, no one cares where you went to school out here after you get out. Have you ever asked your doctor, before you give me that shot, where'd you go to school? Nope. Before you hired that lawyer, did you ask them where they got their law degree? Nope. 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 So you need to go to school at a place that you can pay for and that will give you the education that will cause you to go win as like a grown-up and stuff. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Confessions of a Scholarship Winner, is my co-host today. We were talking about student loans in that last question of the day that came up, and one of the things that's happened in the last week or so is President Biden signed into law the new Secure Act. If you want to see a full breakdown of the Secure Act, we've got a great article coming out on our website at the end of the week. So be checking our blog at the end of the week, and it's going to be absolutely everything you need to know about the Secure Act. But there's 2 things in the Secure Act that were signed that most of it had to do with retirement. But 2 things they did that were very cool that are helpful on this other issue. One is the law allows companies to make 401k matching contributions based on the employer's student loan payments, even if the workers don't contribute directly to their own 401k. So apparently, if I'm understanding this correctly, a lot of companies are helping with student loan debt one way or another out there. It's a hiring process. It's a hiring thing now, a signing bonus type thing. So like you got a match on your 401k. That's a reason to go to work for that company. We'll help you with your student loans. A reason to go to work for that company. So they're making this happen here. And if I'm understanding this correctly, the company can make contributions to your 401k equal to up to $3,000 a year, I believe it was, equal to your payments on your student loans. This is the same president that's forgiving the student loans. I'm so confused, but they're not forgiven, so there we go. And, this is the thing. So employers can match your student loan payments with retirement contributions. This is correct. Here, I'm trying to read the thing. Let's say you get a new job making $100,000, your employer matches 3% on contribution, but you're still working on getting Sally Mae out. Your employer could offer up to $3,000 of student loan. I was right about that. Yeah. So you put $3,000 down on your student loan. They'll put $3,000 in your retirement account. If your employer offered that, it is now legalized with the Secure Act. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a reason to do your debt reduction, reason to get there. And the other one that's even cooler, because a lot of people gripe about, well, if I put money in the 529, what if we don't use it? Well, number one, that almost never comes up because very few people put enough money in the 529 for this to be a problem. Okay, but let's say you've got $30,000 left over in your 529 and you didn't use it. Number one, if you didn't use it because of scholarships, you can take out every year the value of the scholarship. So if you get a $10,000 scholarship, you can pull $10,000 out of your 529, no taxes, no penalties. You just have to provide the documentation. That's already on the books. But the Secure Act is allowing, if after all of that you still end up with, because you went to a cheaper school and your parents had saved like maniacs, okay, and you end up with money left in your 529, you can roll it. After 15 years, you can roll over any unused money from a 529 to a Roth IRA for the plan's beneficiary. So, little Susie Q, your daughter, has a 529, and little Susie Q doesn't use it all. 15 years later, Susie Q can have a Roth IRA and roll the money into that with no penalties.
This is so exciting to me.
That's a really good thing.
Yeah, especially as a parent. I mean, that's a discussion we've had in our house and just a conversation and a thought process. And it's like, wow, that is a huge change for parents.
Well, it takes away the whining that says, I'm afraid I'm going to have too much in my 529, which never freaking happens, but it could happen hypothetically. And if it did, number one, if it was because of scholarships, you should have pulled it out right then and not paid any taxes, doing what we just told you. That's already on the books. But now this act, the Secure Act, signed by Biden, thank you, President Biden, good piece of legislation here. I think everything in this piece of legislation, but one thing I like, we'll cover that another day. But these two student loan things, one is the employer can now match what you pay down up to $3,000 into your 401k. Nice benefit. And two, this is even more important. If you had 529 money left over after 15 years, you can roll any unused money from a 529 plan into a Roth IRA, the student to the student, okay? Not to mom and dad's Roth IRA, but to the student's IRA, this is just very cool.
Yeah, it's another way to set your kids up for success. And again, like you said, to take those excuses off the table. There's not a reason not to save for college if you're in baby step 5, and you think your kids are going to go to college. Like, that's a great thing to do, and you don't have that fear anymore. There's not that reason to hesitate.
Very good. Sarah is with us. Sarah's in Asheville, North Carolina. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks.
What's up?
I have a question about investing or saving. We have just completed funding our 6-month emergency fund.
Way to go!
And we would like to, thank you. We're very excited. We're doing the baby steps, so we're looking to increase our investing. But the question is, we also have some savings goals. We'd like to pay cash for our next car.
Mm-hmm.
And like home maintenance things, like we've been told we'll need to replace the heat pump in our house, which would be several thousand.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, do we just dump into savings right now or up some investing? We're not
What's your household
sure
income?
What to do. We are a single income. I now stay home with my children, and we're about right at 90.
Okay. And you're going to be putting baby step 4 is 15% of your income going into retirement. And then with what's left over in your budget, you save up for a car and a heat pump. You don't have any payments anymore, remember?
Yeah, we have no payments.
Right.
That's the question. If we dump that much into retirement, it's going to be hard to have much to save.
No.
For a car.
No. How much debt have you paid off?
Well, we have no car payment.
How much debt did you pay off?
Probably $15,000.
How long did that take you?
Years.
Over how long?
Probably 2 years.
Good Lord. Well, yeah, you're going to have trouble because you've never cut your budget back.
How quickly do you need this car?
The car we have now is 11 years old, and it's functioning. We hope to keep it as long as we can. We do not want to go into debt for a car, of course.
So it's not an urgent need right now?
What's your house payment?
No. Our house is paid for currently. We're a family of 6. So
okay, Sarah, there's all kinds of problems in this math, and I don't know where it is. All right, and I don't want to jump to too many conclusions. My suspicion from my experience is that you're not doing a good job with your budget. You have no house payment. You have no car payments. You make $90,000 a year. You have 6 kids. Lots of people in your situation would have lots of money left over after having put $1,200, $1,400 into their 401k plan. You don't have a payment in the world. And there should be all kinds of room in this budget to save. Not buy a car a month, but you ought to be able to save and buy one by September. You ought to be able to save and do your retirement. I think you guys are focused on, you get caught up in the busyness of a large family, and sometimes there's some disorganization in the finances around that, and we go, oh, well, we're a large family, we can't afford it. Sometimes that happens. Could that be you?
I think so. His, like I said, we're single income.
Do you do a written budget every month? Every dollar has a name, and you and your husband are in agreement on it before the month begins? No, you don't.
Yes.
You do. Every single dollar has an assignment.
Yes.
Okay. Then you need to figure out where all your money is going.
Do a no spend month.
Because, yeah, I mean, it's you got $90,000 coming in minus taxes, and you should have money left over to do retirement and to save for these other things. There should be room in this budget. I've been doing budgets for 30 years. There's something wrong with your equation here. Something's missing. This is The Ramsey Show. Well, sometimes the lessons in life that you get when you screw up, they hurt. You learn from them. You've got the wisdom, and you don't have to do it again. And then you get to do something new that's stupid. But that old stupid thing, you don't have to do it twice, right? That's how we learn. That's how I learn. I try not to do the same stupid thing twice. And after you get older, you've done a whole bunch of stupid things that you'd never do again. So you get to be what they call wise. This is why we wrote the Total Money Makeover, so you don't have to make the same money mistakes I made. You can learn from my stupidity before I learned to do things the right way. You get practical, proven plans that literally tens of millions of people have applied to get out of debt and build wealth, and learn the 7 baby steps. In my most recent book, Baby Steps Millionaires, you'll also find out through the stories of real people that you can be radically transformed and become a millionaire. It can really happen. Anyone can do this in America, even today. It's not snake oil. It's not magic. It's actually very hard, but it's easier than being broke and stressed. So try it. Anyone can do it. Never too late. You can order the Total Money Makeover book. You can order the Baby Steps Millionaires book. You can order any of our Ramsey personality books, of course, at RamseySolutions.com/store. Check it out. James is in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hi, James. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
So I just have a question. I recently started listening to your podcast. My wife and I, we recently moved into our new construction home, and we're just kind of trying to figure out how to budget properly. We're both in our early 20s, and I always hear about the Money Makeover book and also financial advisors, and I'm just curious on what's the best route for someone just starting to learn how to budget properly to go.
Well, welcome on board. We're happy to have you here.
Our ratings went way up. We didn't know it was you.
So are you familiar with the baby steps at this point?
Somewhat, not all the way, but I have my stepmother. She preaches you all the time. And like I said, I just started listening to you guys, and I'd really like to hop on the train and get this whole situation fixed.
Well, I love this. This is what we were talking about earlier with all the acronyms and the new lingo for the people that are just starting out in the tribe. So this is just perfect. So do you all have any other debt outside of your house?
Other than credit card payments, no, we paid off our cars while our house was being constructed. And we had a medical bill that we paid off as well. So we just have credit card payment and house.
What is it? How much, you mean you have debt on a credit card?
Yes.
Okay. How much?
17,000.
Okay. And what's your household income?
Yearly, it's right around this year. We were at 95.
Good for you. You got a great start, sir. Great start.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I love that you're already tackling, the car, the different medical bills. Like that's awesome. The 17, that's next. So that would put you on baby step 2. We have 7 baby steps. You're on 2. And that's the next thing we want you to tackle. And you asked about a financial advisor. We've got these things here called SmartVestor Pros. And for a lot of people, once they're investing, we recommend both. But right now, you're in baby step 2. And have you taken Financial Peace University yet?
I have not.
Well, we'll gift that to you, and that'll explain the whole system. You'll learn all the lingo and all the acronyms and all the things that we're talking about to just kind of get you really focused and started.
Yeah, this is the class that you should have been taught, that we all should have been taught.
I wish.
Yeah, I hear you. Me too. And so, but it's going to walk you through exactly what to do. And so right now, what you're going to discover is the largest barrier to people becoming wealthy is debt payments, because your most powerful wealth building tool is your income. So what we're going to do is quickly wipe out that $17,000. So with no payment in the world but a house payment, you got some wiggle room in your budget. Then you can save for an emergency fund. Then you can start your retirement investing, which is where you'll build serious wealth. And you can start saving for your kiddos' college so they don't end up in student loan debt later. And then the next to the last step, 6, is we're going to pay off the house early. That's probably going to take 7-8 years to do that whole thing. But, dude, if you're 30 and you have a paid-for house, retirement's well underway, and you don't have a payment in the world, by then you're making a lot more than 90, you're going to be so wealthy so fast, it's going to be crazy in the scope of things. See what we're doing?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just a system, a process of what to do first, what to do second, and all of that. And like Christina said, we'll sign you up. We're going to give it to you as our gift to say thank you for being a new listener. We're glad you're here. And it'll walk you through this, but you're going to have there's not a path to greatness that does not involve strain. There's not a path to success that doesn't involve perseverance. There's not a path to being different, above average, that does average things. So be ready for some prescriptive things that we're going to tell you to do that are going to feel like your friends are going to think you're crazy. But keep in mind, your friends are broke people. And so that's what if you get that, then you go, okay, I'm going to lean in. There's no pill you can take down at the vitamin store that's going to make you look like a Greek god. It requires unbelievable physical discipline.
Well, and it's kind of like pick your hard. Being broke is hard. Being hopeless is hard. Having no plan for your money and living paycheck to paycheck, that is hard. And while it takes discipline and it might be a challenge to get on a plan and build wealth, that actually has an amazing end result. And it brings peace in your finances. The actual work is worth it in the long run.
So, and tell your stepmother, thanks for preaching. We appreciate it. Hang on. We'll give it to you, brother. And you call us if you got any questions anytime. We're here to help you. We'll encourage you too. Jessica's in Louisville. Hi, Jessica. How you doing?
Hi. Thanks so much for taking my call. I have a burning 529 question that I'm hoping you guys can help me with. So my husband and I have 3 teenagers, a senior in high school, a junior in high school, and a freshman. So all will be, college ready soon. So we've been saving since they were born. As of right now, we have $123,000 in their accounts.
Each?
Total, sorry. They're set up as 3 separate accounts, but I just kind of look at it as the full amount. So we put $600 a month in there right now. I looked back last January we were at $128. Since then we put $7,200 with that, and now we're back at $123. So my question is, should we stop contributing to the 529 and just leave it for them? Okay, because we're planning on cash flowing the oldest because he's getting pretty good scholarships. We're requiring all of them to do in-state tuition.
Yeah, so that means you got at least 3 or 4 years before you're going to need this money.
Yes. So you think just keep going?
What do you think the stock market's going to do in 3 or 4 years? If it goes 3 or 4 years and doesn't go up, it'll be the first time in history.
That's my hope. Is
no,
that
really.
Goes up.
3-year bear markets don't exist in history. Go look for them.
Okay, good. So you think we're baby step 7? So you think just should I pull some out for my one that'll be starting in the fall, or just? I
thought you were going to cash flow the one that's starting in the fall.
Well, I can.
Good.
I can cash flow it.
No, do it.
You think? Okay.
Cash flow. So leave this alone. Let it grow.
Okay, I'll do it. Thank you so much.
I just love that she used the word burning and 529 in the same sentence.
I was going to ask what a burning 529 was. I haven't seen one of those.
I'm like, as somebody who studies college and loves the
it's
topic.
It's like a burning bush.
That much excitement around a 529 just gets me excited.
That's right. I have a burning 529 question. Oh, no, a burning question about a 529. Okay, now I get it. Okay. But yeah, that's, and so, yeah, that's an interesting thing. It's kind of like when you're coming up to, okay, you're 64 years old, the stock market's down. Ooh, I got $1 million in there. Do I take it all out? Because the stock market's down. No, you're not going to use it all right now. Let it ride. Ride the roller coaster. No one gets hurt on the roller coaster except those that jump off in the middle of the ride. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Thank you for joining us, America. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Laura is in Maui, Hawaii. Hi, Laura. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, guys. I'm so grateful for you guys. I wish I discovered you sooner.
Well, we're glad you're here. How can we help?
I don't know where to start. I'm a new stay-at-home mom. My husband and I have 3 little kids, one on the way, one of them with special needs. And I made a lot of stupid choices through my 20s, and now we're about $200,000 in debt, with most of it coming from my student loans.
Wow.
We have super high living expenses that are like 60% of our income. And I just feel like we can't ever get ahead because we're always just trying to make ends meet. And I know that we live in an expensive place housing-wise, but I don't really want to move because my daughter can get services here. And, I want my husband to bring in more income, either by going back to school or getting a new degree or taking on another high-paying job. But I also feel like I need his help at home because our kids are so young. And I just feel so stuck. And I want him to pick up his income, but I also I just don't know if that's the answer or where to start.
Yeah. I'm sorry, kid. You got a lot on you. A house full of little kids is enough. One of them special needs adds a double dose, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot going on. How old are you?
31 now.
Okay. And the kids are what ages?
3 to 9 months.
That alone just spells cray-cray.
It's so intense.
You don't even need
really
debt to be overwhelmed. You've got it right there. I don't blame you a bit. I don't blame you. This is just a hard time for y'all, okay? That's a lot of work. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of drama in the air, and then pile $200K of debt on top of it, right? Okay?
Yeah.
So there's not a magic switch we can throw that makes this go away, okay, in terms of the debt. As you have already figured out and alluded to, there's going to be some trade-offs. Something's going to give if you want this debt to go away, and you're gonna pay a price of some kind for this debt to go away. I don't know what that price is, but you've already figured out that that's your only way, right? It's not going to magically disappear. So, and it's not bankruptable. So it is an income versus outgo formula. You've already alluded to that. You know that. So it's income up, outgo down, student loan goes away. Now, what's going to give? You guys get to make these choices. You're grown-ups. But you can't sit there and expect Puff the Magic Dragon to show up. He's not coming. So hubby's not going to be around to help you, and you're going to be a little bit even crazier in an already overwhelmed situation with 3 littles, and one of them was special. And it's going to be hard, and because he's working all the time, because we got to clean the student loan debt up so we can have a future. Or we move and we find some other way to get services for the little. Or both. But you see what I'm saying? Something's going to give. Something's going to leave a mark. Something's going to be ouchie. Right now, the ouchie is the student loan. But if you want it to move away, you're going to trade it for another ouchie. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So embrace the suck.
Yeah, you're right.
It's going to suck. You just got to figure out which one. And what I like about this is you get to choose your suck. I mean, if we had a time machine, we'd send you back and not do this, okay? But, hey, if none of us ever made mistakes, I'd never have a radio show. So there you go, right? So, I mean, this is how this works. So you're okay. You're just a human being that's screwed up. Welcome to the race. We all do this, right? I got a PhD in DUMB, kiddo. I've done stupid stuff, make sure stuff looks smart. So, I mean, I get it, but you can't, it's not going to, we can't just go, I wish, no. So something's going to suck. What is it? And you and your husband sit down, put the kiddos to bed, get them all asleep at one time, which is a minor miracle in itself. And we're going to we're not going to watch Tiger King on Netflix. We're going to talk about this crap, and we're going to go, okay, what is it in our life that for the next 3 years is going to suck and be really hard so that this sucky student loan goes away?
Yeah.
Because you named everything you needed to do. You just didn't want to do it, and I'm coaching you up here.
Yeah, let this be your line in the sand moment. I mean, it's hard as a mom of little babies too. It is a hard season, but this is just going to be a season. This isn't going to last forever, both with the kids being tiny and it being hard, and also with paying off this debt.
Yeah, it's not. 10 years from now, it will not be the same.
Yeah.
It won't be. I mean, kids are easier to raise when they're older. If you let them live that long, they get better.
For that. I wish I thought about a family in my 20s or younger so that I wouldn't have made all the stupid decisions I made in college.
Oh, well, me too. I wished I hadn't borrowed $3 million when I was 26 and gone broke when I was 28 when Sharon had a brand new baby at home and would have left, but we didn't have a car. She was so pissed at me she couldn't see. I wished I hadn't done all that, but I did do it, and then I had to embrace the suck to get rid of it.
So do you recommend we move states? Do you think that would help us?
I'm not sure. I recommend that the two of you look at it and say, what is it that's going to suck and we're going to choose?
Okay.
We're going to choose you're going to go back to school and take this job. You're going to work 60 hours a week, and I'm going to be like a single mom over here pulling my freaking hair out. We're going to move states. We're going to do all three of these things. But, or we're going to choose to sit in this student loan and look at it, and it sucks because we're going to just keep doing what we're doing right now. But at least choose. Don't feel like it's happening to you. You choose. And when you do that, you're going to make a good choice. And you're going to make one you're willing to embrace.
Laura, are you ready for that?
I'm scared, but I feel like not being able to make ends meet is a lot. So yeah. I'm ready.
I think you're ready. When people get sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when they're ready to do anything. And it's in your voice. I can hear it. You're over it. Mm-hmm. You're done. You're like, something's got to give. Arrgh.
And all the fear and shame, let that go. Let that drive you forward. Like, don't live in that fear and that, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like, that's done. Yeah. It's time to move forward.
Yeah, because we've all done it, kiddo. The rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield for a reason. It's called grace.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Dave Ramsey. One of my friends for several decades now, and fellow authors, fellow speakers here in our community. Michael Hyatt dropped by. His daughter, Megan, the president and chief executive officer of Full Focus, their company, is with him, and they've got a brand new book out. So I said, hey, Michael, get Megan, come over. We're going to talk about this thing because it's awesome. Because it fits right in with the stuff we talk about every day around here. We're all about intentionality. Get up off your butt, leave the cave, kill something, drag it home, right? Mind your mindset. The science that shows success starts with your thinking. When I saw that, I thought of that old, my mind, I thought of it, and then it left my mind apparently, but Earl Nightingale.
Yes.
You know, the old, his first thing he did, and it's all about intentionality. It's all about, you become what you think about. The secret of success. You become what is the name of that talk? Oh my gosh.
I know what you're talking about.
I talk about it all the time. But anyway, it's a, what?
The Strangest Secret?
The Strangest Secret. Thank you. James got me from the booth. Yeah. The Strangest Secret. And you become what you think about. The science that shows success starts with your thinking. And that's the path y'all went down with this.
It is, because one of the things we realized specifically in our coaching work is that if you want to change somebody's results, for most of us that are entrepreneurs and business owners, we kind of have an action bias. We think if we just redouble our effort, work faster, work harder, work smarter, but that gets you so far, but it's really your thinking that drives the actions, and particularly the stories we tell ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so I had, I think you'll appreciate this story, but I had a business that I owned back in the late 80s, early 90s, and that business failed. Now, all the assets were pledged, so we couldn't even legitimately go bankrupt. There was no assets to divide up and give to the creditors. But a few years later, a friend of mine said to me, he said, you're not very good with money, are you? And I accepted that story as my own. Never occurred to me to question the truth of that. And then I set out for the next several years to prove that, because my actions flowed out of that thought. And it was
when you buy a negative narrative,
exactly,
or a positive narrative,
exactly,
then you act on it because people act on what they believe.
That's exactly right.
And you don't do actions otherwise. Sometimes you think you do, but you just don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
And James Clear's Atomic Habits, he talks a lot about resetting your identity, which in a sense is resetting your belief of I am not an overweight person. I'm a person who has too much weight.
Right.
But that's a big difference.
It is a huge difference.
Yeah.
I'm a skinny guy who needs to lose some weight. Well, I'm a broke guy who's learning how to handle money, not I'm a guy who doesn't know how to handle money.
Well, that was a story I came to, and frankly, you had a big part in that story. I don't know if you remember, this was decades ago that you met with Gail and me. You were kind enough, and you began to reset that narrative for me that, hey, I can learn about money, and I can get better with it. And the baby steps were all part of that.
The book is Mind Your Mindset. The science that shows success starts with your thinking. Michael Hyatt, Megan Hyatt Miller from right here in our own community and longtime friends of Ramsey family, Ramsey Show, Ramsey everything. You need to get this book. You need to pick it up today. It came out today.
It did.
So today's launch day.
Yeah.
So buy it today, please. It helps them with their marketing on Amazon. We want to run the numbers up. Buy it today. Anywhere great books are sold, and you can check out their website, which is fullfocus.co, fullfocus.co, which is their company. Megan, talk about the work you guys are doing at Full Focus around this subject particularly.
Well, we're helping people to unlock a part of success that a lot of times feels like it's hard to access, that we have something out there that we want. Like we want to get debt free. We want to have financial peace, but there's something in the story that we unconsciously are telling ourselves that's keeping us from taking the actions that we need to take. And so a lot of our work, our coaching work, is not financial in nature, but it's helping people to remove those blocks in their mindset so they can get those actions in line and get the results.
Dr. John Deloney talks about if anyone talked to one of my friends the way I talk to myself, I'd punch him out.
So
true, right?
So how do you break out this thing? Because we all got these tapes running in our head. I don't care who you are. I don't care how smart you are, how studied you are, how many PhDs you have in psychology. You still got a tape in your head. How do you break out this fact from fiction stories so that you can, as you said, I think it's a beautiful phrase, unlock potential that's not been unlocked?
Well, the first thing to know is that your brain just wants to stay safe. It is wired to keep you safe, to avoid danger. And so the fact that you have negative thoughts, there's nothing wrong with you. That's just kind of how your brain works. But you can be intentional about actually training your brain by going through some of these steps that we talk about in the book, identifying your story, interrogating it, and then ultimately imagine something better that's going to give you the results that you want.
I think, Dave, for a lot of people, the idea that the facts and the meaning that we assign to the facts are two different things, that's a new idea. And that meaning that we assign can sometimes serve us. But as Megan said, sometimes it's just the brain trying to get us to play a small game, play a safe game, and not have the courage we need to create the change we need to have a better life.
Yeah, I think our brains are drama queens. They overstate it and go, get out of the road, you're going to die! It's like, no, I think we're okay. That car is like 2 miles down there. It's okay. Calm your butt down, And that's the thing, that this narrative that gets to running, and it's like, you're going to fail!
Yeah, right.
I haven't even done anything yet. How could I fail? It's not possible yet.
Yeah.
But it's like these loud alarm bells go off, and so just recognizing, separating fact, and that's a mental exercise. That's an act of your will.
And it's a skill. You don't have to know how to do it innately. It's something that you can learn how to do that will become automatic over time, which I think is hopeful.
Yeah.
We talk about this concept of this narrator that lives inside of our head. So if you're watching an NFL game, there's what's happening on the field. Those are the facts of the game. But then there's the color commentary, these guys that can't stop blabbing, that are telling you every play, what it means, where the game's going, and all of us have that guy living in our head. But sometimes that narrator needs to be defanged or given a different script, one that's more empowering. And we can do that. And that's what we talk about in Mind Your Mindset.
Exactly. I mean, if it was a Twitter follower, you would just delete them.
Right. Ban them.
Block them. You wouldn't let somebody talk to you that way.
Right.
You know?
We've got trolls
At least
in
if
our
you're
brain.
smart, you would. You don't let trolls happen in your real life. Why would you let them happen in your brain?
Yep.
You know, and it's reset the thing. Mind Your Mindset. It comes out today. The science that shows success starts with your thinking. Michael Hyatt, Megan Hyatt Miller. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at their website and learn more about the coaching that they're doing as well, and how you can connect to them with all of their process to help you reset the narrative and get that success that you are due. Fullfocus.co is, again, the website. Talk about one of the examples of somebody you've done this with when you're coaching, something that pops into head, because I know there's lots of success stories.
Well, one of the success stories is mine, actually. I had a debilitating fear of public speaking. This is like the number one fear that everybody has.
That's like all of America.
All of America. But in my situation, I'm a CEO. At the time, I was a COO of our company. And I had kept this hidden for many, many years. And it had kind of developed in high school, never examined it. And my team came to me one day and said, hey, we want to do a big live event and have you keynote in front of 800 people. And I did kind of like that nervous laugh, like, okay, yeah, I'll say yes. Inside, I'm thinking, this is my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
And I thought,
just die now and get it over with?
Right. I thought that if I got on stage, I would be publicly humiliated. I would lose control of my body. I mean, just talk about catastrophizing to the max. And so I hired a speech coach. I hired an anxiety coach. I got all the help that I could possibly get. And for 6 weeks, I went through the process of rewriting that story. And fast forward, I was able to step on stage in front of 800 people for the first time. And
killed it.
It was amazing. It played out exactly like the story that I had written. And I'm not talking about affirmations like, I'm a TED speaker.
That's scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I mean,
yes.
Spike it, do the dance.
Right.
I mean, ding, ding.
It was amazing. And it was this exact process. It's part of the reason we wrote this book.
Very cool. Hey, you guys, we appreciate your friendship all these years. We appreciate what you do for people. And if you guys have not plugged in for some reason to Michael Hyatt over these years, he's been doing this a long time helping people. Megan is obviously the heir apparent running the show today and allowing Michael to work on books and these things. Mind your mindset. The science that shows success starts with your thinking. Don't stop. Get it right now. Amazon, click it right now. Shut up. Do it. This is what you're doing. This is a Ramsey recommendation. I don't tell you to read junk. I tell you what to do that's going to help you. This is going to help you. And it's right along the lines of the other stuff we're talking about on the show every day. Mind your mindset. Get it right now. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks Dave. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining us, America. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today, #1 best-selling author. We appreciate you folks being with us. Hey, we kicked off our Building Wealth live tour here in Nashville a few weeks ago. On February 16th, just a couple of weeks, we're going to be in Indianapolis with Rachel Cruz, George Camel, and Jade Warshaw. Austin, Texas, February 23rd with Ken Coleman, Dr. John Deloney, and Jade Warshaw. I'll be in all of these. April 24th, we're heading to Salt Lake City with Rachel Cruz, George Camel, and Christina Ellis sitting to my right. Then Ken Coleman, Dr. John Deloney, and Christina Ellis will be with me in Anaheim for May the 2nd, the final Building Wealth live event of the season, of this spring season. If you want to come with us, that's May 2nd. We'd love to have you. Tickets are only $49. You can get a 4-pack starting as low as $175. Seats are selling fast. Get your seats before they're gone. $175. You pay 4 times that to go see a music concert. And when you're done, you have a T-shirt and have had some fun. And that's a good thing. You should do that. I went to an Eagles concert a while back. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And, Vince Gill's an Eagle. That's pretty cool, So we go, and it's pretty fun. And they did a great job. And I spent more than $175 to go to that concert. And each and with my bride, so it was like more. And so, yeah. And I enjoyed it, and I'm not mad at music concerts, but don't be broke and going to a music concert instead of doing this and bring 3 of your friends, right? So, RamseySolutions.com/events, $175 for 4 people. 49 ahead. RamseySolutions.com/events. Come out. We'd love to have you. It's a big pep rally for those of you that are on the plan. You get to be around a whole bunch of people doing what you're doing. Dixie's with us in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hi, Dixie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, it's an honor to be talking to you today.
You too. What's up in your world?
Well, I am wondering what you would advise. I'm a teacher. This is my 25th year of teaching, but I do have a unique living situation, and I am considering finding a new career, but I'm wondering if I should take an early retirement, which would involve a penalty in my pension, but I would have coverage with my medical insurance until Medicare at this age. Or should I freeze my pension and have take a career with a lesser income, kind of starting over, and no insurance guarantee?
What kind of career are you thinking?
Corporate training. Since I'm a teacher, I have a degree as an instructional designer as well.
So what would you make as a corporate trainer?
Maybe $60,000.
Mm-hmm.
What are you making right now as a teacher?
$92,000.
Okay, you going to be an independent contractor corporate trainer or working for a certain company?
Probably working for a certain company.
Well, they would have insurance.
Okay.
Wouldn't they? Company big enough to have corporate trainers is big enough to have an insurance policy.
Okay.
Right?
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just worried that maybe it won't be out there.
I don't think I would make this decision based on the insurance. I would go buy insurance before I would take it on the chin on my pension. Now, the other side of the coin, for different reasons, I might take the pension now. The reason you take less now, how old are you?
48.
When's it kick in? 65 or 59?
I think
full.
Insurance?
No, full pension, not counting insurance. We're not doing this on insurance. We're doing the pension.
I believe I think I can take early retirement at 55.
And start getting a full pension then.
57.
Okay.
I'll have enough time.
Okay, so 9 years. If you wait 9 years, you can. If you freeze it, you can get full, right?
Yes.
If you take it early, you get less than full. So the question then is a financial calculation question that you would sit with a SmartVestor Pro. So even if you don't need the money, and you don't need the money because you're going to go be a corporate trainer, and you don't need the insurance because you're going to go get insurance, even if you don't need the money, you may want to take it early because of what's called the present value of money. $1,000 today invested in 10 years would be $3,000. Okay.
Okay. And then,
And so that lesser pension invested for 9 years might offset for the rest of your life the lesser pension. And the money's in your hands because if you die, you know what happens to that pension. Bye-bye.
It goes away, yes.
And so if the money's in your hands, it doesn't go bye-bye.
Right.
So I'm going to try to take it early and not use it and invest it wisely in good mutual funds. If the math says to do that, if they're discounting it too heavily, you wait and take the chance anyway. But if they're not discounting it that much, because probably what they're using is a present value calculation based on about a 7% rate of return, which tells me that if you were to invest it at 12, that you will come out ahead taking it early.
Yes. Okay.
That's probably what you're going to find. But you could be all over the map as to what they use to run these calculations. And pensions, there's not a regulation that makes them do it a certain way. So you have to get with somebody to help you do the math. So click SmartVestor Pro at RamseySolutions.com. And the only reason you take it early is to reinvest it and end up with more money because you did that. You don't take it early because of the insurance.
Yeah, and Dixie, stay on the line. We're going to get you a copy of From Paycheck to Purpose by Ken Coleman, just as you navigate this transition, because I can hear a little bit of fear in your voice and some of that hesitancy in this transition, and I think that could really help you just kind of walk through it. That's a big career leap.
Yeah, and pretty much done in the classroom. We can all hear that too. Matt's in Sioux City, Iowa. Hi, Matt. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Dave. This is Matt. How are you guys doing?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Good. Hey, I've been Gazelle Intense for a while, about a year and a half, and now I'm at baby step 4 through 6, and I'm just curious where I should be allocating my money. It's pretty easy with baby step 4, 15%. I have one kid, so I'm just wondering, she's about a year and a half, how much should I put into my 529? I'm looking at term life insurance. I've got a mortgage of $135,000, and then I'm interested in S&P 500. So just curious, if you were in my shoes, where would you allocate your money?
Well, congratulations. That's great. Baby steps 4 through 6. Woohoo! I love it.
Yes, it's been really exciting. And, being Gazelle Intense, listening to you guys definitely helped me. So I appreciate you guys' wisdom that you've given me throughout that time.
Well, we're excited for you. And I love that you've broken down the numbers, so you have a pretty good handle on it. And I know with baby step 5, the college portion, it can be a little bit confusing because you're not really sure, what that future looks like. But we have a really good calculator on our website at RamseySolutions.com. You can look at the college cost calculator. And with that, you can, type in how many years you have left to save, where you anticipate she might go to school, and it'll break down about how much you should be saving a month in order to hit that tuition goal. So I would go ahead and do that so you can kind of have an idea of how much you need to be putting aside in the 529. And then, once you've done your 15% towards retirement, you've got your 529, then it's just time to go crazy on the house. Do what you can to pay that off.
Yeah, S&P 500 is a baby step 7 thing. You don't need to do any of that until you get there. But everything else you mentioned is just a matter of how much. And sometimes people say, I'm going to put $100 a month towards college, and then I'm going to pour all of it on the house, get the house done, and then I'll cash flow college. Sometimes people say, I'm going to do college the proper amount with the calculator, the way Christina said, and that's going to reduce how much I put on the house, so I'm going to have the house debt a little bit longer. Either one of those are great answers. Stupid is not in either one of those columns. You are right on track, and you're heading the right way. You're doing the right kinds of things. And so the trick is to make you stay on track with 4, 5, and 6. If it doesn't fall in 4, 5, or 6 right now, you're not doing it unless you're intentionally saying, I'm going to punish 5 or 6 so I can buy a car. I'm going to punish 5 or 6 so we can go on this vacation. I'm going to punish 5 or 6 so we can ... And if you punish them completely, there'll be nothing there. So you can't do that. But it's okay to say, hey, time to get a couch. The heat and air's out. We're going to pay cash for it. And that's going to mean we put a little less on the house this month or next month. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Matthew 11:27 and 28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. The words of Jesus. Corrie ten Boom said, now I know in my experience that Jesus' light is stronger than the biggest darkness. Well, amen and amen and amen.
It's beautiful.
Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Patrick is with us in Tucson, Arizona. Hi, Patrick. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so I just had a quick question here. I was going through some of your older Dave Rants on YouTube and heard one about gold. And I agree with you that mutual funds are definitely a better investment in the long term than gold. I also agree that people would not be trading gold bars for blue jeans or whatever in the event of a major economic collapse. But where I would kind of challenge a bit is, as far as gold goes, I would look at it more as like an insurance policy to kind of preserve the wealth in the event of some sort of major economic situation. If you had some of your wealth in gold, then presumably if there was some sort of collapse of a currency and a new currency were to come up, that wealth would maintain its value at least somewhat through the transition. And then when you out at the other side, you'd still have, you wouldn't have lost everything, right?
Mm-hmm. The problem is that since the Roman Empire, you can't find an example of that happening.
Of people using gold to preserve
to survive an economic collapse and it hold its value, and they come back and turn a corner on a currency. It never has happened.
Well, I mean, if we look at, I know in your previous rant on gold, you had mentioned the Confederacy, right? And if at that time people did use gold as currency, and anybody who had gold as currency, and if they kept that instead of transitioning to the Confederate money, then once that Confederate dollars collapsed, they'd still have that value in the gold. Same thing with the economic collapse in Germany in the 1920s, and so on.
Well, I mean, you can convert to assets of all kinds of things in the event of an economic collapse that will ride it out. That I think the thing you've got to think about here is, where can you find what you're talking about actually being used by wealthy people that have built wealth, to cause them to hold on to wealth and to grow wealth? You just can't find it, Patrick. And you're spending too much time on the internet.
Now, Patrick, what are you worried is going to happen?
I mean, I'm somewhat of a prepper myself, so I'm not worried, so to speak, that everything is going to collapse tomorrow. But I think when you look at a long enough time frame
for your theory to work in your lifetime, the U.S. dollar would have to completely have had no value, like Confederate money did, or like Iranian money did under Saddam Hussein. You would have to have the U.S. dollar, the largest economy in the history of the world, become worth nothing for your theory to work. And I'm sorry, I'm not buying it.
So would there be something else that you would say is a better thing to look at to protect yourself from a financial
I'm not planning for the apocalypse. I don't do financial planning for the apocalypse. I don't have anything for the apocalypse. The best thing I've got for apocalypse is several thousand rounds. But so I'll be eating. But other than that, I'm not planning for the apocalypse. I'm not doing financial planning for the apocalypse. I'm not predicting the end of time, and I'm not going to predict my life as if everything as we know it in America today becomes valueless. I'm not going to set my mind on that track. I'm not going to set my friends on that track. I'm not going to set you on that track. If you want to get on that track, Patrick, you can find a way to rationalize all that negativity if you want. But I just don't believe it. And I think it leads you to ridiculous places to put money. And so I buy real estate and I buy mutual funds. So, you don't have to agree with me. You get you a show and you talk about gold. That'll be great. But I'm not doing it. I'm not going to suggest you do it.
Right. Well, and one of the best ways to prepare for financial collapse, if you're thinking that might be a thing, is to walk through the baby steps and actually become wealthy. His point
is all that wealth would disappear.
Right. But here's the thing. I have talked to preppers before who are still in debt. That's a problem. Like, that is actually...
Well, that's believing more in the collapse than it is in the non-collapse.
Right.
Because in the non-collapse, you would want to get rid of the debt. But in a collapse, the debt would be a great thing because you never paid it back.
Oof.
And you're counting on the end of time. I mean, this is like, it's a theological, doctrinal problem as well as just a philosophy of life. And so, I'm not a prepper. Not mad at you if you're a prepper, but I'm not a prepper. I'm not predicting the end of life as we know it while I'm alive. And so I'm not going to say that the U.S. dollar is going to become worth absolutely the same thing as the Iranian dollar with Saddam Hussein's face on it, which is absolutely paper money or monopoly money or Confederate money or any other collapsed economy in former currencies. You would have, for this idea to work, you would have to assume the U.S. dollar is going to do that. And I just think that that's an asinine set of assumptions. I mean, it's just there's nothing that indicates that.
But even if you are a prepper, get out of debt. Start there. Like if you're really trying to be prepared for some financial collapse, like financial collapse probably wouldn't happen overnight anyways. It could drag out for 10 or 20 years. So it's like, even if you think that's going to happen, get out of debt, pay off your house, build wealth. That'll help you be prepared for anything.
I own real estate, a lot of it. And so, but guess what? In a financial collapse, a communist regime comes in, takes over all private property, potentially. So that could be taken away. Oh, by the way, they could come take your gold bars too, because they just decided to. They come take your farm, they shoot people, and take their stuff. This is how Russia was formed. Hello. I mean, the Bolsheviks, the gulags. I mean, they went and killed the farmers and took their farms. That's what communism does. So how do you protect? Gold bars aren't going to protect you from that. You know, and neither's debt free and nothing, you know, so I'm just not going to financial plan for the apocalypse. I'm not going to do it. If you want to, you can, but you can do a lot of stupid stuff if you want to, but it's loud out there. But it's not what we're going to teach you to do.
Well, and it's living in that world of fear. Like it's living in that space of everything is bad, the world is going bad. And it's like when you're in that space of fear.
No, I will tell you one thing. He did get me on one thing that he's exactly right on. That if you took your Confederate money and you converted it to gold bars before the Confederacy collapsed, the gold was worth something after that and the Confederate money wasn't. And he's right. I was wrong about that. So it did cause you to survive the collapsed economy because you could have took the gold and sold it for northern dollars, right? Called U.S. dollars now. And, you would have converted your wealth and not lost your wealth. So he is actually right about that. But for him to be right, though, to do this, you would have to assume the collapse of the dollar, like the Confederate dollar became worth nothing. And I'm just not going to set my life up on that hinge. If you want to, it's okay. I'm really not mad at you. I just think you're wrong. And you think I'm wrong. So there you go. So go do what you want to do. That's how it works. That's okay. It's okay. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. If the U.S. dollar collapses, I'm wrong.
Well, I just say let's not live our lives in fear.
There we go.
Let's follow the baby steps. Let's build wealth and choose joy.
Is not a plan.
Ugh.
That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Christina Ellis. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.